Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. Today we are going to discuss an important topic of English grammar, and that is tense. Before we talk about tense as a topic of grammar, let us take a step back and understand the meaning and the basic origin of this word. Let me tell you that the word tense comes from the Latin word tempus. So, the word tense comes from the Latin word tempus, right? And let me also tell you, Latin was the language which was spoken in ancient Rome, right? So, the word tempus comes from, the word tense comes from the Latin word tempus, right? Now, what is the meaning of the word tempus? The meaning of this word is time, right? The meaning of the word tempus is time. The next thing that we, going back to grammar, let us understand the first thing, right? That is time of what? Time of what? It tells the time of the action that is being performed. So, tense tells the time of the action that is being performed. I hope this much is clear to everyone. So, what is the basic purpose of tense? It tells the time of the action which is being performed. So, in a word, can we say it tells the time of the verb? Because the action that is being performed, what is it known as? Yes, it is known as verb. So, finally, we conclude that tense tells the time of the verb. Next, we understand that time can be divided into three parts, right? It can be divided into three frames. That is time which is over, that is past tense, time which is going on, that is present tense, and the time which is yet to come, that is future tense. Right? So what are the three time frames? The time which is over, that is past tense. The time which is going on, that is present time, that is present tense. And the time which is yet to come, that is the future time. For example, I have given three sentences. To understand the time frames better, I have written three sentences. I went to school, I go to school, I shall go to school. So, these sentences, we see that in the first sentence, we said I went to school, that is the time which is already gone, right? The time which is over. In the next sentence, I go to school, which indicates the time which is going on, right, at the present moment. And in the third sentence, I shall go to school, it indicates the time which is yet to come. So, this sentence, I went to school, can be said to be in past tense. In the second sentence, I go to school, the verb can be said to be in present tense. And the third sentence, I shall go to school, the verb can be said to be in the future tense. Further, we find that tense not only tells the time, but it also tells the state of the action. By state of the action, we mean the current situation of the action, whether it is complete, whether it is going on, and like that, right? So, tense does not only tells the time, but at the same time it also tells the state of the action, right? For example, I go, I am going, I had gone. So here the verb shows the action, here the verb shows the action in its different state, right? So this is what is indicated through the forms of the tense. So there are 4 forms of tenses, and the 4 forms are simple form, continuous form, perfect form, and perfect continuous form, right? Now, these 4 forms of tense, they indicate the state of the action, right? Starting with the first form of tense, that is the simple form. So, what are the 3 simple forms? Simple present, simple past, and simple future, right? Now here, this simple form does not say anything about the completion of the action, whether the action is complete or incomplete. It just states the action, right? So in simple present, I drink water. In simple past, I drank water. And in simple future, I shall drink water. So what do we notice here? Here the verb is in its first form, that is in the present form, right? In the first sentence. In the second sentence, I drank water, the verb is in its past form. And in the third sentence, that is in the future tense, simple future form, I shall drink water, the verb is in the verb is in future form, right? So do we notice any other change in the sentence? No. Only the verb is changing. From present, it's changed to simple past and then to simple future, right? So no other change. So what is the basic structure of the simple form of tense? Subject plus the main verb and then the object or whatever is there in the sentence. So here we find the main verb. Okay. Moving on to the next form, that is continuous form. The 3 continuous forms of tense are present continuous tense, past continuous tense, and future continuous tense, right? Now, this continuous tense shows that the action is going on. It indicates that the action is still going on. I've taken the same sentence so that it becomes easier for you to understand, right? Next, present continuous tense, I am drinking water. Past continuous tense, I was drinking water. And future continuous tense, I shall be drinking water. So what do we see? The basic structure of the sentence. What is the basic structure of these sentences? We see that the subject not changing anywhere. The object, that is water, again it's not changing anywhere. Now let us talk about the verb part. Am drinking, was drinking, shall be drinking. So in this tense form, the helping verbs are there. Am, was and shall be. These are the helping verbs that have been used, and the main verb has taken the ing form, right? That is, ing has been added with the main verb. So the basic structure is subject plus helping verb plus main verb in its ing form and then the object or whatever is there in the sentence. And the change that takes place is in the helping verb, right? The main verb is not changing. It's the only helping verb which is changing. And what has been added with the main verb? Yes, that is ing The main verb has taken the ing form. This is what is there in the continuous tense. Moving on to the next form, that is the perfect tense. Perfect tense shows or indicates that the action is complete. And the three forms of perfect tense are present perfect, past perfect, future perfect. The examples of these tense forms: I have drunk water, I had drunk water, I shall have drunk water. So again we see there is no change in the subject, there is no change in the object. Only the change which takes place is there in the verb, right? So have drunk, had drunk, and shall have drunk. Now here again we notice that the main verb remains the same. That is the third form. Now what is the third form? The past participle form, right? The list which you learn has, three columns. First is present, the second form is the past form, and the third form is the past participle form, right? So here in perfect tense, we always use, children, please be careful, please pay attention. In perfect tense, we always use the third form of tense, that is the past participle form of the tense, right? So, drunk here, drunk here, drunk here as well, no change. So, only the verb which changes is the helping verb, right? Have, had, and shall have. Have, present form, had, past form, and shall have, the future form, right? So, now let us see the basic structure of these sentences. Subject plus have, had, or shall have, depending upon the time, whether it is present tense, past tense, or future tense. And then after that, the main verb in its third form, that is the past participle form, and then the object or whatever is there present in the sentence. So here in this tense form, the two things that you should always keep in mind is that the helping verb have, has, had, or shall have is used. The main verb is used in the third form, in its third form. The main verb is used in its third form, right? Finally, we move on to the last form of tense, that is perfect continuous tense, right? So as the name indicates, it's a combination of perfect and continuous, right? So this form indicates that the action has started before the time of speaking. Pay attention, the action which we are talking about, it has started before the time of speaking and is still going on, right? I repeat, perfect continuous tense form states any action which has started before the time of speaking and is still going on, right? Now, present perfect continuous, these are the three forms: the present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, and future perfect continuous, right? The example for present perfect continuous: I have been drinking water. Example for past perfect continuous: I had been drinking water. And the example for future perfect continuous is I shall have been drinking water, right? So again, in this tense form, we notice there is no change in the subject, there is no change in the object. Only the change that undergoes is in the tense form, right? Now let us, in the verb form. Now let us focus on the verb. Have been drinking, had been drinking, and shall have been drinking. Here again, first of all, let us talk about the helping verb, right? So, have, had, and shall have. Since it is I, had it been third person singular number, we would have used had, right? Has. We would have used has, had, the subject being third person singular. Maybe, he, she, it. With all these, we use has in present tense, not in past tense, present tense. So, I have been drinking water, I had been drinking water, I shall have been drinking water. So, the helping verbs are have, had and shall have, which we read in perfect tense, right? Now, after that, can you notice one new thing has come up? That is the word been. So, been is always there in perfect continuous tense, right? Then again, talking about the main verb, drinking here, drinking here, drinking here. So we notice that the main verb has again taken the ing form, which we saw in the continuous form. So as the name indicates, this form that is perfect continuous, it's again, I'm repeating again, it's a combination of perfect tense and continuous tense, right? So that is why we find has, have, had, shall have, all these, and we also find the main verb in its ing form. Now let us take a look at the structure. So subject plus has, have, had in the present tense, had in past, and shall have in future, and then been, been is always there in the perfect continuous form, whether it is present or past or future. So been, and then the main verb in its ing form, and finally the object or whatever is there in the sentence, right? So these were the different forms of verbs in different tenses. So I hope today's lesson is very clear to all of you. Please watch it carefully and revise. Thank you.